Marcus Rashford is young, he's black, and he's chipped up. And he is a conservative's fucking nightmare. They have cold sweats when that boy comes on the TV because they just do not know how to handle him. I've got to say, right, you've probably been on the podcast when I've talked about this before. I don't fawn over celebrities. I don't put footballers on pedestals. I understand that they are young men with a lot of attention, with a lot of money, and they generally live in a bubble. They don't live the same life as me and Reece. Well, Reece has a bit more money than me, but no, look, they don't live the same life as us. And it's, I think it's sometimes it's asking a lot for footballers to be social justice warriors. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they can't do it. If they have room in their schedule or they are passionate about it, I'm not against them coming out of that bubble and trying to do their bit for their community or the wider communities or the country in general. So for that, I have to salute Marcus Rashford because I have no expectations of these people. And I think sometimes in life, that is the best way to approach people. If you have no expectations of them, you will more often than not be surprised by what they produce. Whereas if you put them on a pedestal and you have ridiculous expectations of them, you're always going to be let down. So your take, Reece, on Marcus and his crusade to feed the hungry.
You know, it's really hard to criticize somebody who's doing so many, selfless things. I think that whilst we should praise Marcus Rashford on what he's done with his free school meals, what he's doing with the Read a Book campaign for the children. It's all good stuff, it reaches further than just Greater Manchester as well. So, it's nice to see that footballers can not only use their financial capability, but also their platform to raise awareness of certain issues and ultimately use those platforms to create social change. And especially when you compare to footballers like Phil Foden or Mason Greenwood, people just to put in a list who are making the wrong kind of headlines, it's nice to occasionally see one of a footballer actually doing the right kind of thing. So that's always nice. And I think that Marcus Rashford actually did say in the week that his inspiration for doing this kind of thing, I thought he was going to say Gandhi or someone ridiculous like that. He actually said it was Raheem Sterling, because if you remember, Raheem Sterling has been less so, actually, ironically, this year, but more over the last few years. Raheem Sterling has been incredibly outspoken on issues of race, and Rashford actually said that he was inspired by Sterling to voice his concerns on social, on certain issues and try and attain social change. And there are people out there who think that Rashford is doing this all on his own, all off his own back, and I don't buy it. I buy that it's his idea, that he thinks that these things are important, and they are important to him. But he's obviously got a team of people around him. He's got the right people around him, which is always good. And they're doing good things, and you can't criticize it, you can't knock it. So carry on doing what you're doing.